Alright, so I wasn't expecting myself to make a video like this ever. I honestly wanted to stray away from ever making a video like this just because I like to keep some parts of me very, very private and personal. And there's a little bit, I don't know why, I still feel a little bit of shame when talking about this, even though as of this recording, I'm almost 7 months clean from, as you can read by the title of the video, from my habit of fapping. And so I wanted to go ahead and make this video to not only share my experience and how I got to this point, being 26 years old now and being almost 7 months clean, but I also want to make this video in hopes to any guy out there that is still battling this habit of theirs, or they have an addiction, because apparently I've been finding out in recent years with, you know, me regularly consuming content online and self-improvement content, that there are dudes out there by the millions that apparently beat their shit multiple times a day, every single day. And that to me is absurd. Like, when I'm going to go ahead and describe my personal experience, it never got to that point, thank God. I'm definitely, I would say, on the lower end when it comes to the frequency in which I was fapping, even at the peak of when it was, or this habit of mine was at its worst. I definitely say I was at the lower end, but that's why I wanted to go ahead and make this video. And so if this video can help one guy out there watching this, then it's served its purpose. But I know it's been a long intro. Without further ado, before we go ahead and we dive into it, be sure to go and smash the like button for your boy. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new, because we're on the road to 2K. And last but not least, turn on my post notice bell so you never miss out on any of my future video uploads. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's dive into the video and talk about it. So, when I first discovered the concept of fapping, I was 17 years old, which apparently is later than most when guys discover the whole concept of fapping. And so I guess apparently I was a late bloomer, and right at that exact same time I discovered that was when I discovered adult content. Matter of fact, I discovered adult content first before I ever discovered what fapping even was. And so that's how that whole thing kind of came to be for me. And so from 17 to, I would say, about 18 and a half is when I would fap and watch adult content every single day. But then randomly out of the blue, when it came to the adult content, I just completely quit and went cold turkey. And I haven't watched any content of that sort since. I'm 26 now. So when it comes to that part, I wish I could give advice on that, but I can't, because randomly I just quit, and I just haven't really had the urge to watch it since. But that didn't stop from my habit of fapping continuing up until, I would say, this past year when I was 25. And so to kind of backtrack a little bit, so from 17 to about 18 and a half is when the adult content and the fapping went hand in hand. But from 17 to, I want to say, about, what, 20, I want to say 22, 23 is when I was a frequent fapper. And the worst it had ever gotten throughout that time was 5 times a week is how frequent I would do it. And so eventually when I got to 22, 23 years old, I think I kind of started to get sick of doing this thing. And not only that, but with every single post-nut clarity I would get, I would just feel worse and worse and worse. And so what I decided to do from that point on up until this year basically is I wanted to go ahead and quit. And throughout the last couple of years, I have tried everything in the book to quit this habit, from going completely cold turkey right off the bat to, you know, when you get urges to just drop down and do a bunch of push-ups, to trying to constantly keep myself busy. Like, everything that every other guy has talked about and them sharing their experiences and how they beat their own habit or addiction, I tried in the book, and for me, it just didn't fucking work. But what ended up actually working for me was these two things. And so, number one, I'm gonna just keep this one short because this one, I think there's not really much to say about it, but I did my best throughout my 20s, and I'm doing my best moving forward to continuously surround myself around high quality men. And with one aspect of being a high quality man comes being good in social skills and being good with women. And my homies that I was constantly around, bro, they would always have a girlfriend, or if they were single, they would always have hoes. And if they didn't have hoes, they were constantly going out and dating girls. And, you know, they could get bitches. And so from what I known, because I've only spoken to maybe one or two of them about this, and they haven't done it in quite a while, but they hardly ever fapped, or they didn't at all. And so whenever I would personally, you know, continue to fap, I would constantly feel like this shame and guilt. And I would also feel like that I didn't belong in my group of homies because, bro, all my homies, like I said, either had girlfriends, could get hoes. They didn't have to worry about, you know, jacking their shit on their own because obviously, you know, they had women for that. And so once that feeling of being inadequate and having that shame started to get to the point where it was unbearable, that's when I decided to start trying to completely clean myself of this habit. And having those guys around and still having these, you know, high quality guys in my life today has done wonders for me, not only in that aspect of my life, but in just my life overall. And so I highly recommend to any guy watching this video, bro, is to try and get yourself around guys that hold themselves to high standards. Or even if you can't, let's say, you know, your homies are out of shape or they're not making much money, they're not doing much with their life, but they're players and they're good with girls, get yourself to spend some time with them, because I promise you, bro, you are going to start feeling and thinking different. And when you start feeling and thinking different, you're going to move differently. And now the second thing that I did, and this I would honestly attest to me making almost, I would say 70 to 80% of the progress, is instead of trying to go on NoFap, which is often popularized here on YouTube, and trying to go cold turkey, which by the way, for most guys, it doesn't fucking work. It did not fucking work for me. And so when I tried going cold turkey enough times, I think there was at one point in my journey, I think I was like, 24. I think 24, 25? No, 24. Somewhere around 24 or just before 24, I discovered this YouTube video where this guy was sharing his experience. And the way he described it made so much more sense to me, and I decided to try it. And that is doing what's called less fap, which basically means you reducing the frequency in which you're fapping to where eventually you completely get rid of the habit. And so for me, up until this point, I was fapping, I think, 2 to 3 times a week, because I had made a little bit of progress up until this point in which I'm describing. And so I was doing it anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes maybe 2 to 3 times every other week. And so if you do the math in a 4-week month, that would come out to anywhere from 6 to 12 times a month. And so once I discovered this concept, what I decided to do that following month is I decided to try fapping just one time less. That was my goal. Obviously, the goal is to reduce it as much as you possibly fucking can. But bro, if you got fucking high ass testosterone and you have very low self-control, if you can at least slowly build the discipline and at least get yourself to do it one last time, then that in itself is progress. I know in the present moment it may not seem like a lot of progress, but if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it is a lot of fucking progress, because that progress will compound over time. And so from 24 up until, I would say, I think either January or February of this year, that is exactly what I did. Is little by little, whether it was a week by week or month by month basis, I basically started slowly fapping less. And now that I'm making this video at 26 years old, I am, as of now, you never know, I could go back to the fucking habit. Like, you never know, like, you can't predict the fucking future. But as of now, I am now 7 months clean. And so, yeah, that's all I really had to say in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to any guy watching this video, bro, if you're in a place right now where you feel a lot of shame and a lot of guilt, or you just like have been frustrated, first of all, I want you to acknowledge that what you're feeling is completely normal, and every guy on this fucking planet, even the guys you've looked up to and the guys that are fucking, I'm talking about the top of the top and players that are super good with women, they've all gone through it, we've all gone through it. And so what you're feeling is normal. And my advice to you, like I said, bro, is just take it a little bit at a time. And so if you find yourself, you know, fapping every single day in a 30-month or a 30-day month calendar, if that makes sense, then try to see if you can go 29 days and 28 days. And who knows, you might make some big jumps. Like, I know for me, I definitely made little jumps here and there, because if you do the math and what I just described, it should have took me about a year to about 2 years to get to where I am at. But I actually expedited the process because I have always had pretty good self-control, and I guess that kind of came into play a little bit more, like on steroids. And so I expedited the process to get to where I am now. If you guys did enjoy this video or you found some value out of it, be sure to go and smash the like button for your boy. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new, because we're on the road to 2K. And last but not least, turn on my post notification bell so you never miss out on any of my future video uploads. I'm about to run out of minutes on my camera, so I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all in my next video. Peace.